If we can raise some common sense, it would be how to dress warmly. A lot of people go out there in shorts and short sleeve shirts when it's like 50-degree weather. Nope. It's the wind chills to talk about. We have an Arctic front coming up in about a couple days. And we have to be prepared by not just prepping our house for ourselves, by dressing in layers. Onions have layers. Lasagnas have layers. Casseroles have layers. Cakes have layers. Everything has layers. And if you don't know how to dress in layers, you need to know. Here's Kristen Walla.
Leslie, that's right. We've got the Arctic cold front on the way. Temperatures, they're really going to drop here in the next couple of days. So, of course, we want you to be prepared for it, not only by prepping your home, but also by knowing how to dress properly for the extremely cold weather. So, that means you need to be dressing for the wind chill as opposed to the actual air temperature. It's like the heat index in the summer. The wind chill is what your body is actually responding to. So, here is what the wind chill is. Normally, we've got this bubble of warm air around our bodies. The wind is going to take that heat away, replacing it with colder air. So that's the wind chill and why we feel so cold outside when it's cold and windy. Now, most folks are going to be staying inside nice and cozy here, heading into the time that we'll have these cold temperatures, but a lot will also be gathered outside for the MLK commemorative march. Wind chills at this time are expected to be in the upper 20s and the lower 30s at this time. So if you do have plans to attend the march or be doing something else outside for an extended period of time, you're going to want to make sure that you are layered up. And normally that means you're going to need one more layer than you actually think you will. So I've got a little bit of a show and tell here for y'all. So you're going to want to start with some type of undershirt. You may not think that this is going to do a lot for you, but it really is going to help, I promise. Then you're going to want to head on to your next layer, a sweatshirt here, like my A&M one, gig 'em. And again, that undershirt, it's not going to seem like much, but whenever you start to add the layers, it's really going to help to keep you warm as you head outside. So next up, you've got pants. I personally here have some fleece lined leggings. They're very warm, but you can also have some regular leggings underneath a pair of jeans, sweatpants, whatever. It's super cozy. So that's going to be warm. Then you also want to have a pair of warm socks. Pickle print is optional. So you could also, again, have two thinner pairs at the same time. So again, the key here is going to be layering. You're going to want to top that off with a heavy jacket. Mine has a nice warm layer on the inside. It's insulated and the material is going to be really good at blocking the wind. And of course, the final step, you're not going to want to forget your little hat here. Again, puffball is optional, and some gloves. So again, you can tell from all of this stuff I have right here, the key is going to be dressing in layers. But before we do get to all this cold weather, we've got a really nice Saturday on tap. Here with more is Alan.
And we thank Miss Kristen Walla for raising common sense. And if I were to meet her, I would say thank you for raising common sense. This could, and she did very great. She's a meteorologist, however. I'm not going to go all mumbo jumbo. She's not just a great meteorologist, but she also gives great common sense. Because a lot of you guys gonna be like dressing in short shirts, short sleeve shirts, shorts and flops. Ain't gonna happen. You're gonna have hypothermia in your toes. Your arms are gonna be frozen to death. Hypothermia in your toes. Your arms are gonna be frozen to death, and then you're gonna be walking like real slow. I can't feel my arms. I can't feel my legs. Man, it's freaking chilly out, man. And that can also affect homeless people. So how can we be a part of this? How can we help the homeless in this? We have to provide homeless shelters in every city in every city in every county, especially in this city. Texas is one of the states that's trying to cut back on the homeless population, and that includes protecting the homeless. So, if you're gonna brave this cold weather, you need to dress in layers. Dress in layers. and start by realizing. If you're gonna brave this cold weather again, you need to make sure of it. Make sure you dress in layers. If you can't beat the cold, you stay inside. Another tip for you: after you get in with the cold weather, and you still feel cold, you take a hot shower, and the hot water on your body. The hot water in your body will decrease your body temperature. I learned this. I just recently learned this. So after I get back from the cold weather, I take a hot shower. That way it'll lower your body temperature, and you won't get the chance of getting sick. And it may help or it may not help. We don't know. But Kingsville is prepared to have a water boil issued, but that's gonna be another story. We'll talk about that mid later in the broadcast. We still got a long way to go. All right, can wearing a hat cause you to go bald? Can some of these products help cure baldness? You are going to meet 5 balding men who agreed to try products. 5 different products. Which ones work and which don't. Stay with us. National Critters Day is happening. It may happen. It's the second week of January to where you quit your New Year's resolutions. But are you gonna start quitting your New Year's resolutions? Like losing weight, stop overeating and all. I have my New Year's resolutions, and believe me, they ain't gonna stop. But are you thinking about quitting yours? And if so, how can you survive National Quitters Day? Take a look.
It's National Quitters Day, the second Friday in January, when an estimated 80% of Americans ditch their New Year's resolutions. As always, getting fit is the #1 New Year's resolution. I spoke with celebrity trainer Jillian Michaels. Why do so many people fail when it comes to their New Year's resolutions regarding their health and fitness?
I don't necessarily believe people have the most realistic goals. I'm going to work out 5 times today. It's like, okay, let's crawl, walk, jog, run here. So if you've been sedentary, let's get a stat goal in there. Jump.
Michaels created the fitness app, which she says can help you stay committed. Another top resolution, saving money. But on Quitters Day, many start blowing the budget.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Set realistic goals. Give yourself a chance to celebrate the small victories.
How about staying sober? That was the resolution made by ousted GMA co-anchors Amy Robach and TJ Holmes.
We spent in the month of December $2,869 on alcohol alone.
I'm appalled when I look back at how much I actually drank. It was at least 3 drinks a day, and oftentimes more.
I can easily go through 18 drinks a day.
Now they're in the middle of dry January.
I've already lost 2 pounds.
I'm 3 to 5 pounds down.
So whatever your resolution, don't give up.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you. Get that message out there? If you think you're being rickrolled by these New Year's resolutions, don't give your hopes up yet. Do not quit. Don't ever give up on your New Year's resolutions. I'm not giving up on mine. Even if it's something in my community, I ain't never giving up. I'm going to do what I can to help out my community in any way, shape, form, or possible that I can do so. From the bottom of my heart. Do better. Seems like we'd all do better when it comes to stuff like this. Are you thinking about traveling tomorrow or this weekend? Maybe have a baby on board with you. If you may recall, we talked last season. We focused in on airport safety to where it's all about the children. But for babies sitting in the laps, you may need to watch this next story because it could help you learn about baby flights.
A dire warning today for parents flying with kids. In the wake of that terrifying incident aboard an Alaska Airlines flight, the FAA is telling parents not to hold their babies in their lap on flights. The safest place for your child is in an approved restraint system or device, not in your lap, the FAA says. 3 babies were on board when a door plug blew off the plane in midair. Babies fly for free if they don't have their own seat, which is why many parents choose to hold them on their laps during flights. But the FAA says saving on that extra ticket just isn't worth the risk to a child. Would you rather pay for that seat, or is it better to have them at under 2 just be on your lap?
Be on your lap.
If it's free, I'll do it, but if not, it's a fortune.
What's the safest way to travel with a baby? The FAA says a child should be in a car seat approved for use on aircraft, or in an airplane seat with a harness like this one.
You really want to make sure that you are, strapped in and have your child in the safest place possible.
And as we've noted in the Dayline video we showed you, it's all about being safe with the children. Some children have died, and FAA is forcing very strict rules on this. You may ask experts and they may tell you, but the FAA is the best expert here to know about this. So start asking questions, and if you don't know, it's best to ask questions beforehand. That way you can know what you're doing. Start writing things down, because if that was my nephew born on a plane and I learned he died, I may have never gotten a chance to meet him. But things may take a long approach. If you follow simple tips and rules, it may help you. And you might learn how to save a life. Your child's life. So the next time you think about taking a baby on board, no lap, always an approved car seat. It can help, and your baby will be safe. Alright. Is there a way to reduce baldness from your hair? Is there treatments out there that could help cure baldness? Up next, we're going to tell you some tips what you can do to cure baldness or to reduce baldness, and we're going to introduce you to 5 people who agreed to take a challenge to try 5 different products to help out with hair. Everything from surgery to potions. Stay with us. If you were to look at some parts of my hair, you would see right here that could be a hairline right here. I don't know if you can see it. It could be here, or it could be right here. There's probably some baldness in my hair, and I want to know how to cure it. But you may not be alone. I might not be the only one. 80 million Americans, over 80 million Americans have experienced some hair loss. And millions of us men have tried to spend at least over $80 million trying to find stuff to cure our hair. But is there any other way to reduce this or try to find new solutions? In just a few minutes, we're going to introduce you to 5 men who agreed to take a challenge to cure baldness. Which ones work and which ones didn't. First, let's start with the diet. Eating nutritious diet rich protein, oils, and nutrients can help nourish your body and scalp, probably like a salad. If you reduce your stress and staying physically active, being gentle with your hair, it can really help. Treatments. Some treatments are more effective when hair loss is still mild. For instance, minoxidil is an FDA-approved over-the-counter treatment. Finasteride is a product prescription medication that can slow down hair loss about 80 to 90% of men. And there's also hair transplants. Hair transplants are the most effective way to get permanent coverage across your scalp. Both FUE and FUT transplants work by removing follicles on the back of your head and implanting them into your bald areas. Other products you can try, you can use considered products, a topical treatment, essential oils, bleaching or coloring your hair, excessive heat styling, a new hairstyle. Try a new hairstyle and move your hair around different parts of your head to minimize the appearance of areas that have thinned. Let's look at some other treatments and solutions before we meet the men here. 85% of men will have major thinning by the time they're 50. Which there's a link between lining up and how fast male pattern baldness gets worse. And what causes hair loss? It's genetics. That's what causes it. And if you were to look at this picture, some medications can slow it down, but it's FDA approved over the counter drug. So these pictures would show this person here with some hair. Here's this person here. Same thing. But this person here has this, and he has less hair. He may have less this hair in this one. That's the vertex. The fourth one is on the bald spot in the back. This one is here. This one is here. Here, but with some hair loss here. And this one here, and that one here. Male pattern baldness is the most common form of hair loss. And if you look at this picture, you would see these genetics right here that would help explain the hair loss. Here would be more hair, less hair in front, more hair, less hair in back, and more in the middle. The Dr. Phil look for those last two looks. Hormones. A doctor will remove healthy hair from the back and side of your head to the top. The process can be costly. You may need to do it a few times before it works. 2 months, you'll shed most of what the doctor moved. But new strands can and will grow back. It'll start to look normal within 6 months. Make the most of what you have and try to stay positive. Now, the question could be, well, before we get to the questions, from Bruce Willis to Michael Jordan to Tony Soprano, you often hear it all the time. Bald is beautiful. Hereditary hair loss affects 80 million, again, like I said, hereditary hair loss affects 80 million of us Americans. And we've all spent a lot of money trying to find a cure. But all those products really helping, you're about to see a Dateline challenge. You're about to meet 5 balding men who agree to take an experiment to see which of these hair products worked and which one didn't. And you may be surprised by all the results. Here's Rob Stafford.
Meet Dateline's version of the Fab Five. They're 5 proud men at the pinnacle of their lives. And life is good, except for one thing. They're all losing their hair. For men, going bald or having thinning hair can be an extremely emotional issue, bringing on feelings of lost virility, attractiveness, sexiness, or simply getting old.
It just changes the appearance in a way that you don't want it to change because you don't have control of it.
I think of my father. My dad has no hair. And I said, that's me. Can you imagine if parts of your body just started falling off as you got older? You'd want to stop that.
But now our guys are going to try to get control of their ever-widening bald spots and ever-thinning hair. The 5, all friends from the Miami area, have agreed to participate in an experiment for Dateline. For 12 months, they're each going to try a different drug, medical procedure, or one of those products you've seen advertised on late-night television or the internet. We'll follow them over the next year to see how well these products and procedures work on these volunteers.
I can feel some of my hair standing up.
Our 5 men range in age from their 30s to our oldest volunteer, who is 54.
We're going to continue in that foreign policy.
Joe Fernandez is an economics teacher at Miami Beach High School. He loves teaching, but he's also been the target of students' cutting remarks about his hair.
Kids say it all the time. You have a comb over, Jesus, getting real light through the forest there, and you can see right through your hair.
Now he hopes growing back some hair will end the jokes and continue a personal transformation.
I just woke up last summer and decided to change my life. Being 5'6.5" and 274, I just didn't want to be at that weight anymore.
So through vigorous weight training and diet, Joe lost more than 100 pounds. This tough Vietnam vet now feels liberated enough to care about the way he looks.
Set the table, please.
And that's important because he has 2 young daughters from his second marriage, and he's tired of people mistaking him for someone else.
I have an 8-year-old, and I won't be considered the grandfather, but the father.
Right now they think you're the grandfather?
Oh yeah, this is your grandfather. Grandfather? No, this is my daughter.
38-year-old Paul Silva is a lifelong resident of Florida, the land of swimming pools.
Paul, you don't seem self-conscious about anything. What is it about the pool?
It's once you get your hair wet, that's it. The water just takes everything that you've done and it just magnifies all your defects, and it's horrible.
All your defects. That's the way you look at it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just the word bald, isn't that a defect? A bald spot in the tire.
Paul, who works in real estate, has a huge collection of hats. All the better to keep his head covered practically all the time. His wife, Linda, wishes he wasn't so obsessed with his hair.
He doesn't believe when I say I think he's attractive and he's my Bruce Willis.
And something else he doesn't believe in, being photographed. It's been 10 years since he's taken any photographs with his family. But Paul hopes that will soon change, and someday he'll be able to relive his teenage years, when he had hair almost as long as the singers in his then-favorite rock group, Quiet Riot.
I'm looking forward to the headbangers ball so I can swing my hair around.
Bang your hair.
It's been a while since I've been able to flip my hair one way or the other, so.
Hector Romero is also 38, married with 2 children. He works for IBM in computer tech support. His job requires a lot of training classes, but his learning often takes a back seat to his hair.
I would try to sit towards the back of the class because my balding is mostly in the back, and I just didn't want anybody sitting behind me because I would just be worried the whole time who's looking at me, and I don't want to have to worry about that while I'm trying to learn.
So as you walk into the classroom, you're already thinking about the bald spot on your head,
sure.
so you select a seat in the back of the class and no one will see it.
Sure. Or when I get into an elevator, I try to get to the back of the elevator.
But Hector, I mean, the person behind you in the elevator or behind you in class, they
They're
don't
probably not
care
worried about it.
that.
No, I understand that.
And he hopes his wife will be understanding about him taking on this Dateline hair challenge.
My wife tells me, why are you doing this? Because I've been on other treatments, and she said, why are you doing that to yourself? It's fine, you look fine, but it's not for her, and it's not for anybody else, it's for me.
Our last 2 volunteers are brothers and identical twins.
Hey, Dr. Berger.
George.
Richard and George Suero have more in common than their looks.
As far as they've been on Prozac.
43 years old, they both work for Eli Lilly as pharmaceutical salesmen and drive the same type of car. They've been close their entire lives, including their days at Georgia Tech, when they were gymnastic teammates and had full heads of hair. But old photos only serve as stark reminders of what used to be.
Especially if you go to a high school reunion, that's when you really are more concerned about how you've changed and how other people remember you. And they look at you now and they go, wow, geez, you look like... Really
Have you been
aged."
back to reunion, George?
Yes, I won't go back to another one.
How long were you here? What happened when you went to reunion?
I worked the lights a lot, you know. There was a spotlight, I'd go around it, I wouldn't be right under it and stuff like that.
Worried you're gonna get a shine?
Yeah,
off the
shine,
floor.
and then you could see right through, kind of like I'm doing right now. But anyway. Sorry, Paul.
Thank you.
Huh?
While George is married with 3 kids, his brother Richard is divorced.
Hey, it was great that we got the water.
And once again, he's on the dating scene, which only compounds his stress over his hair. The especially since he lives in Miami, a city with a reputation for sexy women and men. In top shape, and usually with full heads of hair. It makes Richard feel he's at a disadvantage.
Self-esteem is, you just really have to build yourself up a lot more. So you have to try harder, and especially when, you look at a bar and you see all these, nice-looking people, men and women, and they have more hair than you.
But just what causes some men to have more hair and others less? Genetics. Experts say in most cases, sensitivity to the hormone DHT is the culprit. This byproduct of testosterone interacts with hair follicles, causing them to shrink. The hair then thins and can fall out. Eventually, follicles can stop growing hair completely. It's a problem that affects all races and women. The American Academy of Dermatology estimates that nearly 40% of men and women have visible signs of hair loss by age 40. Yet most people fall prey to myths about what causes them to lose their hair, like always wearing a hat.
Totally untrue. There's no way that a hat is going to cause you to lose hair.
Dr. Alan Bauman of Boca Raton, Florida, is a hair transplant surgeon. He says a favorite myth blames baldness on genes inherited from the mother's father.
The hair loss comes from the mother's side of the family, and that's probably an old husband's tale. Not true. We see that it's genetic and it comes from both sides of the family.
And along with those many myths, plenty of wacky ideas on how to grow hair. 50 years ago, I Love Lucy immortalized the kind of extremes men will go through to save their hair. R5 have heard about some outlandish cures too.
I was told, have a cow lick your head.
Have you tried?
No, it's crossed my mind.
They told me to put a pantyhose on your head.
You put pantyhose on your head?
Pantyhose on my and I knotted it right up. And okay, I'm gonna have a picture of that.
I'd like to see that.
So obviously I was very desperate at this point.
And at perhaps Paul's most desperate point, he took some unsolicited advice from a stranger at a shopping mall.
And he said, you know what you need to do is you need to buy a horsehair brush and brush your hair. And I'm like, excuse me, what do you mean? What are you talking about? And he goes, for the bald spot.
So did you buy it?
Yes, I did. I will confess, I was there every night, 200 this way and 100 that way.
For men only.
But what kind of results will our volunteers see when they each try a different approach to growing hair? Using drugs like Propecia, minoxidil, a laser device, or a hair transplant?
Absolutely was concerned about the plug look. I did not want the baby doll look.
Our volunteers are on a quest to get back at least some of what they've lost over the years. The Dateline Hair Experiment is about to begin.
When we come back, the experiment begins, and the quest and the journey is also going to begin for these 5. Will the products work, or which ones will work and which one won't? Rob Stafford is going to have more. Stay with us. If you don't want to be the 2/3 of men losing some or all your hair, you need to try products that will really help you, or try some pills. In the case of these Follicle 5, they're going to be trying out those new products that you're going to see on the internet. Will any of our guys know the difference? Well, here again, Rob Stafford.
Happy Hair Day to
Our 5 Miami volunteers are about to go after the holy grail of male aging. They're hoping this will be the last day they see their hair and self-esteem go down the drain.
With a HairNet laser comb,
For the next year, we'll follow our Follicle 5 to see what happens as they each try a different hair-growing drug, product, or medical procedure.
Good morning, I'm Dr. Romanelli.
But before they begin this Dateline project, we have them examined by Dr. Paolo Romanelli, a professor with the University of Miami's Dermatology Department. He takes photographs and notes to estimate how much hair each man currently has on his head. He'll later give his opinion on whether any of the purported hair-growing products and procedures actually worked on our volunteers. But first, our volunteers receive their weapons in this battle against hair loss. Richard, our twin who is single, will be taking one of the only 2 FDA-approved drugs to grow new hair. Finasteride, popularly known as Propecia.
I expect it's going to work well. Actually, I have a friend that tried it, and it seems to have worked fairly well for him.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how optimistic are you that you're going to grow some more hair?
I would say 8.
The prescription pill is designed to block production of DHT, the hormone that causes most hair loss. It costs about $50 for a 30-day supply, or $600 a year. And in its promotional material, Propecia's manufacturer says people like Richard have a good chance of seeing new visible hair growth.
And most, 66%, regrew some hair.
Several months from now, when you look over at your twin brother George, if he has more hair, how are you going to feel about that?
Well, I'm going to knock him over the head with a club that they're giving him.
Seriously, though, will this be tough?
No, that's fine, because, I mean, I think what a better way to look at yourself and see that there's probably greater improvement by trying Plan B, because I can just try his approach and it should work on me.
Next, Joe, our 54-year-old teacher, will be using a double punch approach, taking 2 drugs at the same time. It's a technique some doctors believe increases the chances of growing new hair.
I would love to have crop of hair to cover my head where I don't get sunburned. Okay, I don't have to wear a hat.
Take 1 tablet by mouth each day.
Like Richard, he's taking Propecia, but he's also using the only other FDA-approved hair-growing drug, minoxidil lotion.
2 times a day, directly on my scalp.
Sold over the counter, he'll be using the extra strength version, which costs about $25 for a 1-month supply. The total cost for the 2 drugs will run about $900 a year. Scientists aren't completely sure why minoxidil works, but believe it stimulates hair follicles to create new growth. But like most drugs, there's a small chance of side effects. The most common with minoxidil is inflammation and itchiness to the scalp. Propecia's side effects include possible decreased sex drive.
I'm a pretty virile person. You know, don't have any problems in that department, but, you know, let's see. You know, it would be a concern later on if it was long term.
Thank you, God, for all the good food you gave us today. Amen.
Joe's wife, Susanna, supports his efforts to grow new hair.
I think it's great that he's trying it. If it's going to make him feel better and he's really excited about it, then, I think it'll be good.
Hector, our computer support technician, will be using an alternative nutritional product from Finland.
I'm going to be taking Viviscal, which is a fish extract.
Viviscal is the type of product you often see advertised on the internet, complete with dramatic before and after photos, testimonials from people who say it grows hair, and scientific studies the company says prove it works.
Viviscal provides nutritional support for the hair and follicle.
Viviscal is mostly made from minerals and fish extracts. And Hector will take 1 tablet twice a day.
It tastes a little fishy. It's supposed to be a fish extract, so you can taste a little bit of fish in there.
It costs about $55 a month or $660 a year. Hector is wearing.
How much hair do you expect to grow?
Do I expect to grow or do I want to grow?
Want first.
Want? I want a lot of hair. Expect? Not much. But I would love to be surprised.
You're keeping the expectations low.
Very low. Yeah.
Why?
I just don't want to be disappointed. To tell you the truth.
George, our twin who is married, will be using something totally different from everyone else. A device called the laser comb.
The HairMax Laser Comb is a breakthrough in hair care, which uses low-level laser technology.
Advertised in newspapers and the internet, the product emits an actual low-level laser beam that the company says safely stimulates hair follicles.
Stop and start holding the laser comb.
We paid $700 for the special comb, and according to the instructions, users are to slowly pass the device over their scalp.
Recommend using the laser comb for a minimum of 5 minutes, 3 times a week.
The company cannot claim the device grows hair without FDA approval, which the company says it's trying to get.
Look at these certified results.
Still, in its promotional material, the manufacturer says the comb makes hair thicker and fuller, and that 90% of their customers are satisfied with their results.
Feels good though. I don't feel anything kind of strange.
George says he has reason to believe it will work.
I really expect some good results out of that. I'll tell you why. Because I have a friend that tried it, and I think just in the little time that I've seen him, you know, from baseline to now, my gosh, what a difference.
Our last volunteer, Paul, who hopes to once again flip his hair like a rock star, is about to undergo the most intrusive treatment, a hair transplant, and he is thrilled.
I actually kind of feel like I've won the lotto. I mean, you think of all the people who want to have this done, and I got picked.
And Dateline is paying for the procedure, as we did for all of the treatments. Still, many people might have second thoughts about a transplant because of images like these. Rows of hair plugs implanted into a scalp that often looks strange, what some call the plastic doll head look. But Dr. Alan Bauman, a hair transplant surgeon, says medical advances have eliminated that plug look from years ago.
Today's hair transplants are 100% undetectable. There may be people that you know who have had hair transplantation and you were unable to tell.
Good morning, Paul. Welcome.
But to get that look takes a lot of money and man hours. Plus, there are risks.
Infection, blood loss.
As Paul quickly realizes when he arrives at Dr. Bauman's office for his operation.
Transient swelling, bruising.
The car's right outside if you want to turn around.
Tell them to go ahead and go home. And I'm going through it, for sure.
After taking medication to relax, Paul jokes about the strange-looking laser hood that's used to stimulate his scalp.
Compton, I'm giving you all I can, Compton.
And then Paul gets a final consultation.
A year from now, 10 months from now, what will his scalp look like?
Well, he's going to have a brand new hairline, so it's going to be a lot lower, a more youthful position, and he's going to have a hell of a lot more coverage all through the top front area. So that front half of the scalp is where we're focusing our effort today.
And he wants it down to here, I think. Right, Paul?
Well, we're going to talk about that.
Dr. Bauman marks with a pencil where he plans to implant the new hair.
Does that kind of match with what you were thinking of?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Christy.
As Paul enters the operating room, he'll need to get comfortable because he won't leave for 7 hours.
Put your hair up.
The donor hair comes from the back of his head.
You have beautiful donor area.
Because it's genetically immune to that hair loss hormone, DHT, erasing the worry that it will fall out like Paul's old hair.
We're going to start the anesthesia, okay?
Okay.
After numbing his head, the doctor removes a small section of his scalp. Because this is extremely graphic, we're only showing a portion of this procedure. Technicians then cut out individual hairs from the donor's scalp.
What I'm doing right now is I'm making the tiny incisions, the sites, where the hair is going to be implanted into the skin.
Paul remains relaxed the entire time.
Kind of sounds like scratching noise. No pain. A little pressure. But, I mean, not even close to what I thought I would be feeling.
Then, the doctor and his team replant about 1,900 individual hair follicles.
The grafts are about the size of a fraction of a grain of rice. We're just glorified farmers here, that's all we are. Planting the seedlings of hope here for him.
7 hours later, the process is complete.
It was a good case. Your skin handled the procedure very, very well.
And then a first look.
That's a lot of grafts. Wow. If that fills in. You weren't kidding, Doc. I want to look like you.
This procedure cost about $10,000, and Dr. Bauman has instructed Paul to start using Propecia and minoxidil to help keep his old hair from falling out. But for now, he's only thinking about new hair growing in.
It's instant gratification. I mean, I got to take a look at my hair and go, wow, in 3 to 6 months, my hair is going to be there. It's going to be way down here back where it used to be.
But will Paul's transplants take? And will this fulfill his dream of getting back the kind of hair he once had? Will any of our men see the results they're hoping for?
When we come back, we're gonna check in with these volunteers and see how these hair follicles have grown for all these products. You may be surprised by the results. Stay with us. Returning to our story, you've seen all the products that each of the 5 volunteers has taken, from medication to a comb to a potion to even a fishing medication. But how will the hair of the 5 volunteers grow after 6 months? We're about to find out, and the results may surprise you and the 5. Once again, Rob Stafford.
It's been almost 6 months since we last saw our follicle find. Each of our volunteers is trying a different hair growing treatment. And we've sent them back to Dr. Paolo Romanelli,
Take a few more pictures.
a professor with the University of Miami's dermatology department. Dr. Romanelli took photos of each of our volunteers at the start of this project and is now taking similar shots.
Mainly looking at the crown, I think had some substantial results.
As you'll later see, we'll be comparing those before and after pictures, and hear Dr. Romanelli's subjective opinion on who has and has not grown new hair.
One dose in the morning and one dose in the afternoon.
But first, we sat down with our 5 guys to hear what they think. And Joe, our oldest volunteer at 54, is disappointed.
Joe, you're the teacher. What grade would you give your progress?
D minus.
Tough grader you are.
Yep. I don't see any difference.
Joe is taking a double punch approach, using both of the only 2 FDA-approved drugs for hair growth, Propecia and Minoxidil. Here's how Joe's hair looked 6 months ago and how it looks now. But where Joe does not see a difference, Dr. Romanelli sees some minor changes.
Mild to moderate growth, some results, but not so spectacular.
That's enough of an incentive to keep Joe trying the drugs for another 6 months. The manufacturer of Minoxidil says its product is most appropriate for men who have gradual hair loss on the top of their scalp, and not for frontal baldness. Also, experts say it'll take about a year before our volunteers will truly know if their treatment is a success or a failure.
And Propecia has the decreased sex drive side effect. Any problems there?
No problems there in that department.
Everything A-okay?
Everything's A-okay. Where's my wife? Oh.
George, you're on the laser comb.
Yes.
Have you noticed a difference?
You know what? I think I have.
George, our twin who is married, says he regularly uses his laser comb. It's a $700 device that emits a low-level laser that's supposed to stimulate the scalp. This is George 6 months ago. Here he is now. Dr. Romanelli, who did not know what each of our volunteers was using, feels George had good results.
I see some new follicles. I think the results were very encouraging.
That is fantastic. More hope into the future as I continue to use the comb.
Richard, you had Propecia, right?
Yes.
Any change for you?
It seems quite fuller than it was, and other people have commented on it too. So that's encouraging.
Here's Richard, our single twin 6 months ago, and here's how his hair looks now.
Richard had some moderate growth, mainly in the bitemporal areas.
Any of the ladies noticed a difference in the hair?
Oh yes, especially the hair on my chest. They really like that. But they really like the fact that I have a good combo effect now.
Eat your waffle.
Hector, our computer support technician, is taking Viviscal, the fish-based product imported from Finland.
You told me that your expectations were very low.
Right.
Notice any change at all?
The only change I've noticed is that my hair stopped falling out.
This is how Hector's hair looked 6 months ago. Here's how it looks now.
Hector, unfortunately, is the most disappointing one. On the bitemporal area, I don't see any growth.
Still, Hector feels he has had some success because his hair has stopped falling out. It's also stopped drying out.
Hector, it's $600 a year for Viviscal.
I think it's worth it. If it helps you maintain what you have, I think it's definitely worth it.
The company that makes Viviscal says people who are in the early stages of hair loss likely benefit most from using their product. Hector's been losing his hair for more than 10 years. But when it came to growing hair, there was unanimous agreement about our last volunteer.
Take a look around. Who do you think grew the most hair?
Yeah, he's getting a little cocky now.
More conceited now, yes.
He's too confident now. We don't like it.
But Paul was not feeling confident 2 weeks after he had his $10,000 hair transplant. Back then, he was in a panic.
You know, I'm freaking out a little bit. It's thinned out considerably right there in that same area, because in between that area, there was a lot of grafts put in that area. So.
His scalp was traumatized right after the surgery, and he actually lost some of his existing hair.
Looks good. The grafted area looks good.
Paul's doctor reassured him it's not unusual to lose hair right after a transplant.
I just have to don my hat for a little while longer, and you know, that's what we're gonna do.
But what's happened since then? Here's how Paul looked 6 months ago, and here's how he looks now. He's thrilled with his new growth.
I definitely see substantial growth in the bitemporal areas, in the two temples.
Every day I look at it, and it's like, wow, more hair is coming in.
Hey, Paul.
Hey, Doc. How's everything going, man?
Paul, who hasn't taken a family photo in years,
Whoa, we've got some action going on up there.
is changing. He's become friends again with the mirror and something else.
I actually have my brush with me.
At the beginning it was a smaller brush. This has gotten bigger. He's kind of like getting a larger
I'm
size.
gonna get the turbo one.
It was half that size when he
It's
just
become
started.
metrosexual. You ready to join a heavy metal band yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
So far, Dr. Romanelli says he's seen minimal to substantial growth in 4 out of 5 of our men. We're going to check back in another 6 months to see how they're all doing after a full year. It's important to remember our Dateline Hair Project is an unscientific exercise. Your results may be different. Consult your doctor before starting any of these treatments. And while Paul already feels transformed, there's another big change coming for his family this holiday season.
I believe my daughter, who is now 10, was the last time we had a Christmas picture with all of us together.
10 years ago.
Yeah. So my other two kids have no Christmas pictures with mom and dad.
Until now.
Till now. Absolutely.
We're going to check in next week. Next week, we're going to continue more with the Follicle 5, and we're going to see how they have been ever since. Another 6 months from now, full year. And we'll know by then. But we still got, well, I would show you right now, but we're almost halfway towards the end of the show, which includes Foul Break when we come back. Stay with us. There's nothing more than seeing kids ignoring their parents for 24 hours. It's a challenge made by YouTubers. The idea of the challenge is to ignore your parents' commands for 24 hours. If you ignore them, the challenge goes on. If you respond, you end the challenge. Tonight's Foul Break is going to be focusing on one video. Carson Johns. Now his video has gotten 418,000 views, and he has over 800,000 subscribers. Subscribe to his channel if you can. Let's take a look at him ignoring his parents.
I'm getting mad just because I'm getting on right now. Sean's.c24. Make sure to add me up. You already know I'm about to get this dub. Close Encounters solo. So I guess I'll just film. And my mom comes over here and just see what she does. Like, see if she asks me questions and I just have to ignore her. And I don't have earphones in, so I don't have an excuse. So yeah, let's get this. You know what? While I'm at it, I'm just gonna ignore my whole family. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. They're gonna get triggered. So yeah, let's see what's up. Alright, I'm gonna hide this in a better spot, like behind a few cups or something, so they can't tell that I'm recording. Okay, so I got a tripod, and it's blue, so I don't know how good it'll be hitting, but I feel like it's hitting pretty nicely. So You know, I'm just chilling here playing Fortnite. They're talking about like lunch money or something. They still haven't checked on me. Still in the same game, I think. Yeah, same game. So, you know, we're just chilling here. Okay, so my mom just said she's gonna come check on me. I heard her talking to my sister, so I guess we'll see. Yeah, she's walking. Okay.
Are you ready?
She wants to keep going. Okay.
Hey, Carson, when you're done with this game, you need to clean your room, okay? Carson. When you're done with this game, you need to clean your room. Hurry. Hey, Carson, okay? You need to pay attention. I hate Fortnite. You guys always ignore me.
I was low-key in the middle of a huge fight, so either way I probably would have ignored her during that, not gonna lie, but I don't even remember what she said, so whatever it was, hopefully it wasn't important. Boys, I got an update on Twitch. Thought we were at 150 followers, or 263, so my 200 goal ain't gonna work, boys. Y'all are too strong, so guess we gotta go with 330, if y'all can get that. Y'all are hype. January 1st, first stream. January 1st. Okay, so I decided to get off Fortnite because after I ignored her that one time, she didn't say anything to me. So I think she's cooking dinner right now in the other room, so I gotta be quiet. Yeah, so I'm just kind of waiting to see if she talks to me again. My dad's coming home soon, so I'll ignore him too, but yeah, it should be pretty lit. Alright, low-key, just chilling here. She's over there. I think dinner's gonna happen soon and my dad's gonna get home, so gotta keep it on the down low, you know what I mean? Okay, so pretty much, my parents still are home. My dad isn't home yet. He should be home, it's like 6:15.
Flour or corn? They're both the little small round ones. Which one do you want? Flour or corn? Carson, you're being kind of nasty today. Why are you ignoring me? Flour or corn? Flour or corn? Carson! What are you vlogging about? Carson, you need to tell me flour or corn. Okay, I'm just gonna make you. Guess what? You're gonna do all the dishes by yourself because you are not paying attention.
I don't want to do the dishes, so I'm not gonna do them.
You want to work in the night? Hey, Dad should be home any minute.
And a plate.
Carson, did you have a bad day today? Hello? Hey, you need to turn off your camera and give me your phone and eat your dinner. Because you're not being very good. You're like ignoring everything I freaking say. So turn off your camera. I'm serious, turn it off. You're done filming. Turn it off. Dad's gonna be home soon. I'm gonna tell him how you're being. I don't understand why you're acting this way. Carson, turn off your camera. I'm serious. Turn it off right now. Does anyone care that I'm going? Carson? No one cares. Corin. Carson's kind of got an attitude problem today. Have fun.
My mom needs to let you out or something and chill out to annoy her.
It's like he's on like a soccer team or something. Oh, the football team? Do not chew in my effing ear. Back off.
We gotta jack it up. We gotta have somebody.
Dad's on the phone.
Looking for that way.
Got a crunchy one now.
Don't.
What's up, boys? What are you doing?
Not much. I'm just trying to sign.
Are you guys fighting?
No.
No? Are you guys eating dinner? You alright? What? Are you guys ignoring me?
No.
Ignoring the heck out of me? Where
No,
are you guys?
I'm just chilling.
What about their Carson?
I mean, their Carson's
Are
always
you trying not to
there.
eat with talk with your mouth full or what?
He's been doing that. He's been acting like that all day. I think something's wrong with it. He won't tell me what it is.
Hey bro, what's going on?
He's 80.
Oh, dare. Look at you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
You've been doing that all day long? Are you depressed? What's her name?
How he is.
Yeah, you're just this
I
way.
wonder if he has like PMS or something.
Do you think he went deaf?
He might have. Probably too much Fortnite.
Can you hear me? Hey, compadre. ¿Me escuchas?
Weirdo, huh?
Ignore this.
You should punch him as hard as you can and see if he can ignore that.
Oh, let's get cheese.
Want some dinner, babe?
Boys, I'm not very good. Going back to Fortnite where I can focus on something else. About to get this bread, boys, and we're gonna have to do the dishes pretty soon here. So I mean, we're gonna have to keep it low key. So, ow. This is so bad, but yeah, she's gonna come want to do the dishes soon. They're pretty triggered at me at the moment, but I'm just chilling. I'm bad at keeping a straight face. So that's what's happening right now. I'm gonna set this camera back in the same spot, and we'll see what's up.
It's time to do the dishes. Corey, come to the dishes, okay?
Oh, darling. Well, I love you.
Carson, come do the dishes.
I'll take this dub, boys.
Come do the dishes. Who are you talking to? Come do the dishes.
I so badly wanted to be sassy.
Now. Wait, hold on. I'm gonna come. I can't hear you. Come do the dishes right now. Corey, now.
Go this
now,
skill, boys.
now,
Go this skill, boys.
Now.
Go this
Now.
skill.
No.
Yeah, baby. Got the skill, boys. Got the skill. Taking dubs out here. Solo squatting it to get this daily challenge out of the way, boys. High key clutch that kill. You know what's up. While getting beaten to death. Pulled out that hunting rifle. Boys, yeah, I'm so nice. I'm so nice. Oh yeah. This kid's nice.
He's not, you just suck.
Get your butt in here now. Carson, how do you log out of this thing, Corey? How do you do it? What do you do? Let go. Let go. No, dishes. Dishes. You're stop. Ah, let's go. Out. Come on, dishes now. Now. Corey, can you
Let's
come
grab
do it?
each side of the chair.
You come do it. I'll give you.
Each side of the chair, run.
Yeah, there you go. Take that. Come on now. Let's do the dishes.
We're going out. Alright, boys, we better go to the game. Happy. Actually, you know what? Why not just not tell her? Because I'm an absolute stab. I'm gonna go edit. So, that's gonna be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Peace.
Oh my god. This is just one of the. I mean, try you search on YouTube Boy Magic 24 Hours. Boris did 25 minutes. He did this. He did the 16 minutes. There was a 12-minute video here. Here's a short vid where he ignored his parents for 24 hours.
Oh, Bats, I need your help. Can we go get me toilet paper?
Or you know your friends.
Why are you just standing there? Why are you ignoring me? Bats, help me! Whoa!
Yo, come on. Whatever. Annoying. Bats. Yo, Bats, get me? Bats. 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 Bats.
Guys, oh, Bats, I need your help.
Alright, here's some common sense for you. Do not ignore your parents and do not ignore your kids. Don't post on YouTube. Your friends and family care about you no matter what. That's common sense for you. Always remember, stay warm, talk to your doctor, don't ignore your friends and parents, and that's giving me a break for this Friday going to Saturday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Saturday night. For all of us here at YouTube, and Give Me a Break, stop bullying, speak out, concentration, not strength, no jaywalking, your body, your choice. Do better. Have a good night.